Hello, everyone. Today we will talk about interesting theories like soul redemption. Make yourself comfortable and let's get started. 2 theories of redemption and curse. Theory 1. What if the redemption of a sinner will occur fully? Depends not only on the sinner. The second half for this to happen is an angelic being using their energy against them. We saw that Serpentius, as far as we know, is the first and only redeeming soul sent from hell to heaven. He was selfless, strived for self-improvement, lived and died for love, and most importantly was struck by Adam's light. Theory 2. The deciding factor for a soul to go to hell may be that the soul itself believes that it belongs to one place or another. There are certain exceptions or plot holes. Choose for yourself. I.e. Adam. We do not know most sinners fully in past lives, at least not enough to fully say whether they were evil people, did evil, or even were given a choice due to circumstances. Hazbin Hotel Seraphim, Theory of Redemption. Hazbin Hotel is an amazing show. It tells a complex story and has extremely interesting themes that my friends and I have deeply explored recently. If you've seen the show, I hope you could entertain this post. But if you haven't seen the series and plan to watch it, I warn that this post, of course, will contain huge spoilers. I came here to discuss my personal theory of redemption, and that other theories that I saw do not work. This post will be divided into 3 sections: how the Seraphim theory works, why another popular theory that I saw is unlikely to work, and how, in my opinion, future seasons can handle this theory. Firstly, what is the Seraphim redemption theory? This theory explains how Serpentius was sent to heaven after the battle between Charlie's army and the Exorcists. I came to the conclusion that Sarah used Serpentius as a test for redemption to see if it really works, probably after long ecstatic harassment from Emily. Sarah must have used her powers to grab Serpentius and see if divine judgment will work on him after his death at the hands of Adam. I don't know where Sarah got this power from, but it explains some key details that we see at the end of episode 8. First, why did Emily and Sarah strive for heaven? Emily and Sarah have divine duties to heaven, and I expect they would be busy unless they have other needs to care about. For example, a redemption trial. The fact that they did not strive for heaven, but instead waited for the arrival of a soul, shows that they expected something to happen. Second, the expression on Emily and Sarah's faces when Serpentius arrived. Animators and storytellers don't make faces expressive just like that. Behind every facial expression there is depth and meaning, and Emily and Sarah's faces speak for themselves. Emily looks very excited and happy, even emits a positive squeal when she sees Serpentius, and Sarah looks shocked as if she can't believe it really worked. The facial expression clearly indicated that they knew what was going to happen. This fact, in combination with how the Seraphim waited, proves that Emily and Sarah knew what awaited them. This would mean that redemption must be initiated by Seraphim or other high angelic beings. This directly contrasts with the angelic weapon theory, which has too many plot holes for me to consider. Angelic weapon theory claims that angelic theft has the power to pass divine judgment on sinners, and I am concerned about how many people accept this theory. It is a well-thought-out theory, and I accepted it for a while, but there are several obvious points that need to be discussed. From the song Finale, we know that the extermination has been going on for about 10,000 years. The angelic weapon theory implies that not a single soul in the history of extermination in hell has ever been redeemed. Out of millions of slain sinners, not one has redeemed their guilt. I find this unlikely, but I have other problems with this theory besides the number of killings. Serpentius wasn't even killed by the angelic theft. He was killed by Adam's beam of divine light. And if that were true, there would be no need for a heavenly trial to decide on the possibility of redemption. This decision would only make sense if the power of redemption was in the hands of the Seraphim. So what does this mean for the future of the show? These facts probably led to the day of extermination turning into Judgment Day. Instead of killing all souls, Seraphim or other higher angelic beings look to see if they can pass divine judgment. This would make Charlie's redemption goal possible, and encourage the people of hell to redeem themselves. I'm curious to see how a potential Judgment Day might work, and what implications it could have for all the inhabitants of hell. Redemption at the Hazbin Hotel. We can see in the last episode of the first season, instead of dying after Adam blew him up with holy light, Serpentius was instead redeemed and went to heaven. While some people claim that this is the result of him not dying from a real angelic weapon, I think this is wrong because A. Divine power remains divine power, B. Adam did not use any lethal means during the extermination, and C. The other actors clearly believe he died. What happens in this case? I believe the answer lies in the fact that angelic weapons are not meant to serve as instruments of destruction. On the contrary, they are instruments of condemnation. A very common theme is that heaven cleanses evil and destroys the wicked, but is not meant to harm the innocent. What does this mean? If so, The only way to truly obtain redemption for a sinner is not only to perform good deeds and correct one's behavior, but to be judged again by heaven through angelic weapons. This means that a demon who is worthy and dies by this weapon will be found clean and purified of their sins, allowing them to be reborn as victors. However, unworthy souls will be destroyed, as happens to sinners during the extermination. The same applies to angels. Exorcists and Adam are pretty terrible people, so they too can be killed by the same tools they use to fight demons. This is related to the idea of evil angels, which exists, for example, in Judaism. Angels who are not fallen, but were created to punish and destroy the world, but are also destined to be judged and punished at the end of time for their actions. The exorcists, with their black halo and horn masks, seem to represent this concept very well. This means that each soul has only one chance to redeem its guilt. As soon as the weapon is used, it will either ascend to heaven or be killed. This is their second chance, and there is no other. This means that the stakes for redemption are very high, which makes sense in the context of the narrative. How can a sinner, a person doomed to hell, truly believe that they have redeemed themselves? How could they take such a risk? When it's heaven or death, isn't it better to just stay in hell? And if you're there, why work on redemption at all? This also works with what we currently know about the process of God's judgment in the series. We don't know what the criteria are, only that it can be done only after the death of the soul experiencing it. And this means that redemption, too, probably requires a second death in one form or another, with angelic weapons, because otherwise souls cannot truly die. So here's my theory for all the redemption rules at the Hazbin Hotel. 1. You must die, maybe from an angelic weapon specifically, maybe from another hellborn IDK 2. You must redeem your guilt before death, or sacrifice yourself for the safety and well-being of others. 3. You must have your own soul. 4. You cannot own someone else's soul. I really feel that the last two are important components, because even if you redeem your character, you won't be able to go to heaven if your soul itself can't make the switch, which it probably can't if it's burdened by others or in someone else's possession. Looking back, it becomes clear why no one else could be redeemed at this point. Alastor, Shell, Angel Dust, and Nifty, they all owe their souls to someone, Dexterity and Husk, to Alastor, Angel Dust, to Valentine. And Alastors are in the possession of some unknown character. Personally, I think it's Lucifer, not Lilith. And neither Vaggie nor Charlie are viable subjects. Only Serpentius has his own soul. He does not own someone else's soul, that we know of, and died during redemption, or at least sacrificed himself for his friends. The final hit to heaven card in many stories. Also, I really hope that Adam will be reborn in hell as a sinner, as I feel that this would fit the overall theme of the Balance series. I think Lucifer holds Alastor's soul simply because of how these two behave around each other. Seemingly both distant and close, they know how to get on each other's nerves and get under each other's skin, but they presumably have never met before. Maybe they just hate each other from the first moments. I know I hate, but I never knew exactly how to piss them off in a few moments. No. I think Alastor got too big for his britches and tried to jump on old Lucy himself, who laid him out without much effort. After which Lucifer took his soul and sent him in search of Lilith, who seemed to have disappeared out of nowhere. After a recent return empty-handed, and Charlie soon to open her hotel, Lucifer sends him to help her, while keeping their acquaintance a secret,